Hit this. Perfect, perfect. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday evening. Hope everybody having a fantastic day because I know I am another successful day coming down. Still got a couple calls after this, but welcome to the Tuesday night one mission mentorship call. My favorite day of the week, the day of the week where you get to hear from people that have been in this industry for a long time, right? People that have had certain amounts of success within the industry. And this is where you get these shortcuts on how to be successful within this industry, right? This is how you get the shortcuts to building a massive freedom filled life, a massive financially free life, a massive, massive organization. And that's what these calls are for. It's for building the business. So, as you guys may know, this isn't for trading. This is for learning the skills and how to hit massive ranks, how to make massive levels of income, and also how to become the best leader and the best version of yourself you can possibly be in order to lead the next people that are counting for you, that are counting on you to help them with their journey. And so this is what we call shortcut central, right? This is where when people ask me, what's the shortcut to success? Well, there isn't, but this is how you can shortcut and earn the skills faster than you would have. I'll tell you, when I first got in the industry, didn't really have that much mentorship, right? Not personal mentorship. And a lot of the stuff we had to learn was learning from YouTube, which is perfectly fine, right? Those were my mentors. When I talk about my early on mentors, a lot of times it was from YouTube, books, audios, but it was also from trying and doing and then seeing what worked, trial and error. But the cool thing is we didn't have calls like these every single week, which you guys do. And so I would always encourage you, be around these calls. Come on here, take notes, right? Before we get started, I'm going to say you're going to want to go ahead and take notes because, um, Kayla, shoot a message. Who got you? Shoot a message and see who got you started. Let me know who got you started, or reach out to one of the other hosts as well. We can talk about that afterwards, or reach out to me personally. And then but this is where you're able to shortcut your success, right? In that sense of learning all the skills every single week, you'll be able to build off it. But make sure you're taking notes. If you don't have a pen and a paper, get that ready because it's a proven fact that you will only retain 10% of this information if you do not write it down. I have tons and tons of notebooks on notebooks and notebooks of the years of all the stuff that I've learned, and I still go back to it every single day, right? Notes takers are money makers. That's what we love to say. But I'm gonna jump into the call. Welcome, guys. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Patnode. I am one of the leaders here in the 100K affiliate here within My Daily Choice in the Koshex. I've been in the industry for the last 6, 7 years, and I'm currently 27, right? I'm approaching my 30s very quickly here. And these are the reasons why I was able to have success in my life because I was always able to attend calls like these, right? I was always taking notes. I was always, quote unquote, around the fire. And if you are able to, I would encourage you, put on your camera. Put on the camera, let me know that you're serious on what you want to accomplish. You got to get used to putting your face out there if you want to be very successful in this industry, right? Let me see. And obviously, if you're doing something, whatever it is, but I want you guys to be tapped in, tuned in. Otherwise, we can get distracted with, phones and Netflix and all these different things. And so if you're able to put the cameras on as well, and let's get some notes and let's rock. But I'm going to jump right into it, guys. And to start with it, I want to explain. I want you to write this down on your piece of paper. I want you to write the word environment. I want you to write environment or slash or surroundings. I want this because this is going to be one of the core things I'll talk about here today. And you also get to hear from 50K, Mr. Tippa, after as well. And so, environment. Why is that so important? Well, I'll give you guys a little story. There has been so many times within my life and in my career, let's just put it this way, right? Where I just didn't feel right, right? This is me around maybe 19, 20, 21 years old before I started the business. I just didn't feel right, right? I felt like I was kind of lost. I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I was, partying every single weekend. I was in college, right? I was around my college friends and we were hanging out and, playing the game, not doing a lot of stuff proactive, but I could feel it in my soul that I just wasn't the happiest I possibly could be, right? And what I soon realized is one, I didn't have a purpose, but two, I came to realize my surroundings, guys, my environment. When I first got into this industry, I heard a quote and it said, you are the average of the top five people you spend the most time with, right? The people that you spend the most time with, you are an average of all of them. So if all of your friends, all five of your closest friends party a lot, you're probably a six partier. If all five of them, work out, you're probably the sixth one that loves to work out. If all five of your friends, are smoking and drinking every single day, you're probably smoking and drinking. All five of your closest friends are broke, you're probably broke. But if you all five of your friends are very wealthy or successful, you're probably very wealthy, successful yourself, and or on your way to it very, very soon. And we can think about this. Our surroundings have such a big impact and determine how far we go in life or what we do. Growing up, all my friends played basketball. So guess what? I played basketball, right? Think about it. If growing up, all of your friends maybe played a certain sport or they did a certain activity, if all five of your friends played a certain video game, you probably were playing that video game. You're influenced highly by the surroundings and the people around you. And that's the same when it comes to business. That's the same when it comes to growth. This business is a personal development factory. As you are building your business is building you. You'll learn stuff about yourself every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year that you're in the business that puts you in a direction to better yourself. And environment is going to be number one. I want you to write this down as well. You can't grow in the same environment that you died at. This one was so true for me. When I first started the business, I realized I needed to change the average of the five people that were around me. I needed to change that thermostat of the energy of the life force that was around me. And so, what I had to do was make a decision. Make a decision to change who are those five people. And I want you to write down on a piece of paper. You don't have to do it right now, but make a note of this. After we get off this call, who are the five people that you spend the most time with? Right? Who are the five people you spend the most time with? And then ask yourself with each person, do they positively affect me? Do they encourage me? Are they positive? Are they hardworking? Are they driven? Do they have goals? What is their impact on me? Can I get them to come to a business meeting? No, but I can get them to go to the bar, right? Ask them what are their priorities. Ask them what are their priorities in your mind. Think about these type of things because this will determine a lot of your success. You can't grow in the same environment that you died at, and it's a lot easier to get pulled down than to pull somebody up. And so I want to go back to the quote: "You are the average of the five people you spend the most time with." This is your thermostat, right? This is your level, of energy. This is what's going to determine a lot of your success. And so you don't want to be. Actually, let me ask you guys a question. Would you rather be the number one, the highest energy, the highest income producing, the one that's the mover, the shaker of your five friends, or would you rather be maybe the not the wealthiest, right? Or maybe, you don't match their energy, it's so high. Ask yourself, which one would you rather be? And a lot of people be like, well, no, I wouldn't want to be the lowest of everybody. Well, let me tell you, you want to be, right? Because that means you're in the right room for betterment and improvement. And that's because it's a lot easier to pull somebody down than it is to pull somebody up. It's a lot easier to pull somebody down than it is to pull somebody up. And so, how can you change this? I know a lot of people are probably thinking right now, well, how can I change my surroundings? How can I change my environment? How can I change those five people? Maybe you don't know anybody, right? Maybe you don't know anybody that has that high energy or that is successful, that is wealthy, or that is driven. Maybe that's just not your circle of people that maybe you grew up or currently have. Well, we have them in the business all the time, right? Your person that got you started is probably one. If they're not, the person above them. We have people like Tippa. We have people like Josh Hammond. We have people like Cade. We have people like Carson, Isaiah. We have people like Landon, Maddie. We have people like Marissa, right? We have people like Sydney. We have people all throughout Brandon. We have people, all the leaders. They are the high vibrations, the high energy that you want to get yourself surrounded by. So if you don't have those people, and you can't get yourself in front of them, well, ask to spend time with your mentors. It doesn't have to be only in person, right? It doesn't have to only be in person. You can do Zooms, you can call, spending time or speaking with can be the same exact thing. Connect with them. And one of the biggest things that will happen is when I first got into this, I wanted to know, how can I spend more time around those successful? It's not like they just are going to be like, yeah, just spend time with me, because I'm not at that level of development yet. You got to earn it. The biggest thing was I got to earn it. What I asked was, I asked one of my mentors, I said, what do I have to do to get around you? What do I have to do to be able to get in the same room with you or be able to get on a phone call basis with you? I had to ask, what can I do to earn it? Because it's not like they're just going to want to spend time with you if you don't do anything. And Josh put a great quote in the chat. The student doesn't choose the mentor appears when the student is ready. So ask them that question. If there's somebody in the business that you want to spend more time with, that you want to be around, ask them, how can I earn to spend more time with you? Because it's not just given, right? Paying the monthly subscription doesn't just allow you to spend all the time with people because they don't want their vibration to be lowered by your vibration. And so you have to ask them, how can you earn it? Well, what are some things that you can ask, right? Come to them with a plan. Be like, hey, if I can go put 10 people on this next call, will you spend 30 minutes or whatever, an hour, with me on a call or something like that? Or if I can bring X amount of people to an event, or what do I got to do to get more time with you? Right. And maybe the person that got you started, yes, they will spend time with you. But if you want to go even above them, maybe to somebody that's making 5, 10, 15, 30,000, $100,000 a month, they're not just going to want to be right around you right away. Right. They don't want to lower their level of frequency unless it's for, a reason. And so understand that you got to ask what you need to do. You need to be ready for that mentorship. What are some ways that you can do it? When I see personally, there's people that ask me, hey, Jay, can you personally work with me? And absolutely, I want to help everybody within the whole entire, company grow and have success. But at the end of the day, I have to go where the energy is. And so when I see people jumping on these calls, I make mental notes of all the people that are on these calls right now. Like I've already looked through before we even got started. Who are the people that are on these calls? Who are the people that are active in the chats? Who's sending in value? Who's posting, quotes or things that they find useful that can help the rest of the team? Who is out there crushing it, putting people on the calls? I watch these things all the time because when I start seeing somebody's name, that repetition starts being shown. Those are the people that I want to work with, right? Those are the people that, somebody that is making 10, 20, 30, 40, $100,000 a month want to be around are those movers, shakers, those people that actually are putting the effort. It's not about your skill level right now. It is about your desire. It is about your desire. You know, if you're not reachable, you can't be teachable. Yeah, yeah, yep. I like that one too. It is about your desire. I can look at somebody and see whether they have desire and a work ethic within the first 15, 20 minutes of talking with them. I can see by the activity level in the chats if they have the desire to go win this thing, to do whatever it takes. I can see by if you're asking questions or, the leaders, we talk amongst each other. I'm always like, who's the next up and coming person? Who are the people that I should be aware of, that I should reach out to and help work with? And they let me know, 100%. And so if you want to go ahead and change your environment, you got to, earn it. Otherwise, unless you have people around you that are hustling like that, that's great as well. And so I want to tell you guys a story time about different ways, one that'll relate to why, the environment is so powerful, but also other ways outside of just maybe connecting with the mentor on how you can change your environment. Well, one is attending these calls. This is your environment. Are you on these calls? Do you attend events? If you're in Minnesota, we have a live event coming up this Tuesday. Are you going to be there? If you are in Wisconsin, there is a live event on Friday that we have. Are you going to be there? We have an event in Miami in July. Are you going to be there? We have an event in Atlanta in October. Are you going to be there? We have an event in Europe. I know maybe not maybe people are from the States. They can't make it to Europe, but are you going to be there? Attend. That one is in Italy. That'll be a blast as well. I love Rome. I was out there last year. But attend these environments. And so your environment is a few things. One, it's the people, but also what are you consuming on a daily basis? What are you listening to outside of people? Is everything that you listen to just music that's maybe not positive, that has a low vibration of energy, that isn't talking about anything productive? Don't get me wrong. I love music. Music is everything. I love music for me. But I have an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time I'm listening to personal development, and me and Josh live together, and he can hear it when I'm in the shower, when I'm sitting at my desk. 80% of the stuff that I consume is personal development, things talking about how can I further myself, further my business, further my leadership skills, further, my speaking ability, further my impact, further my reach. And the other 20% is me listening to the music that I do personally love. And so watching what you're consuming, what are you allowing people to say to you? If you have somebody in your life that's
Mm,
super negative, which I know we all do you listen to them? If I'm being honest, when I first started this business, for the first couple years, I cut off a lot of people. And it wasn't like I just said, hey, F you, I'm not going to hang out with you more. I just said, hey, I need to distance myself for a little bit because I'm going on a life changing, run right now. I'm doing a lot of things to better myself, and I'm gonna have to distance myself a little bit. But obviously, you can check in and things like that. But for me, for an example, my mother was one of the own people that was very negative. Even for 2, 3 years straight, every time I'd come around, she'd always just talk about going back to school. And granted, I graduated, right? But I was blessed enough to have a scholarship for my master's, and then which would hopefully would have lent to a scholarship for my law school. But I turned it down because why would I go to school to get a master's in business to learn more about business instead of running an actual business, right? And so that's what decided. That's what made me take this journey within myself. But every single time I come around, it wasn't until I came home in a brand new Mercedes that she said, "Oh, you're making money." I'm like, yeah, we've already talked about this. But then the next week, the next time I came back over, she still said, "Why don't you go back to school?" It's crazy. It's crazy how these things work. Some people just will never be positive about what you have going on, and those people you need to separate yourself. Friends, family, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, if they can't respect your decision and what you're trying to get accomplished and and a lot of this is for your friends and family. A lot of my family and friends that did not, you know, support in the dreams and goals were the same ones that ask for money on a regular basis. And so they benefit from a lot of the stuff that happens, but they don't support. And so understand that you don't need to separate forever, but you need to separate for a season in order to put yourself in that right mindset. It's the law of proximity, guys. That's why you're the average of the people that you're around. And so stop trying to save everybody. Stop trying to save everybody and put yourself in the right rooms, right? Put yourself around the right people. Get yourself around the right environment, the right music, the right everything to get your mind in a positive mental state. And so one of the quotes I want to mention to you guys is, where God is inviting you, where the universe is inviting you, not everybody can come. You don't have to save everybody along the way. You can't force anybody to see the same dream that you see. All you can do is lead by the front, lead as an inspiration. Be that person. Let them see who you're becoming, and maybe they'll join you. Maybe they won't. But at the end of the day, you don't have to try to save anybody, within this. And so that's really what I wanted to talk about is your environment. So before we or when we get off this call, we're not done yet, right? I want you guys to write down the 5 people you spend the most time with and how do they impact you? Is it positive? Is it negative? How do they speak? Is every time you speak with them, it's about something negative? Are they always complaining or gossiping, right? Are they always talking about their problems? I'm a big person. I love solutions. I will talk to anybody about their problems in the world as long as it comes with a potential solution at the end of it. You can tell me what the problem is very quickly, but by the end of that problem, you tell me how we're going to solve it. Because otherwise, you're just venting. And I'm sorry, I'm not a therapist. I'm a problem solver. I'm not a therapist. I'm a problem solver. And so when you come, think about that. Who are those people in your life that are constantly negative, that all they talk about is negative stuff? They don't ever have solutions for any of them problems. And the same problems seem to be occurring. Because at the end of the day, if you keep having the same problems over and over and over again, it becomes a choice, not a problem. Because you have the ability, especially at the age of 18 and above, to go ahead and change your situation. You don't like it? Change your situation. You don't like where you're living? Change the situation. Will it take time? Maybe it will. If you don't like the person you're with, the partner you're with, change the partner you're with. You don't like the friends? Change the partner you're with. If you can't change the people around you, change the people around you, right? And so we all have a choice in this. And so I love to tell people that no more victim mentality. Get around the right people, get around the right information, be close to the fire, and I promise you, everything will change in your life. I want you to do this for the next 30 days. I want you just to try this out. It's the same thing, actually, Matt told me with a diet, and I loved it. It was great. He said, just give it 14 days of this diet and watch and see how you feel. I want you guys to do this. Give it 14 days, 2 weeks. Write down the name of list, the list of names or whatever. Give it 2 weeks. And for the next 2 weeks, make sure you do the 80-20 rule, 80% personal development, 20% music and other things and shows, whatever it may be, right? Write down those 5 people and who maybe, and if they're positive in your life, if they're negative in your life. If they're negative, just stay away for 2 weeks. Don't talk to them. Don't answer that phone call anymore. Just for 2 weeks, right? Say you're busy. Now replace those with, if you can, people within the business or positive people for those 2 weeks. Maybe try to call the person that got you started in this business, or if maybe they're not the most positive person in the world, go up one, see who's their leader and call them maybe once a day for 5 minutes and just see. And I promise you, your outlook on everything, your life, your vibration, your energy, your frequency will vibrate so much higher. And then in return, you will attract those same people around you. That average, that 5 average, you want to be able to attract those people in your life that can elevate you as well. And that's the same thing with the business. In the business, you will sign up people that are a reflection of you. That's usually kind of how it goes, or lower, higher level than where you currently are. It's you or lower. And so, in order to go ahead and do so, you got to change your thinking, you got to change your environment, you got to be that person that it needs to be. So, give it 14 days. Doesn't have to be a whole month, doesn't have to be a whole year, but I want you just to start with 14 days of doing those exact actions and watch how much your life clears up. It's the same thing I did with a diet. I said, you know what? I don't know if I can go ahead and do it for 3, 4 months. I don't know. But let's start with 14 days and see how much energy I have. Man, I had so much natural energy. It was crazy. Stop drinking energy drinks. Stop drinking, caffeine for a long period of time. Now I love espresso, so I'm back on the espresso. But understanding that 14 days, just try it out and let's see it. I've written 4 or 5 quotes in 10 minutes. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And so that's what I want you guys to do. Next 14 days, let's get that dialed in and text me afterwards. If you actually decide to do it, text me afterwards or hit me on Instagram or in the Telegram and say, hey, my mindset, I can feel it changing. I can feel the energy shifting around me. I feel like I'm worthy of having these different people around me. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and shift gears here to another speaker. This guy right here, I've had the pleasure of man, watching him grow into a tremendous leader. When I first met him, I knew he always had the energy, he always had the ability, he always had the potential. But potential is just a word most of the time said for people to not actually do anything, to have an excuse. I met a lot of people in this world with potential, some that are very close to me. They've been potential there since we were 16 and they're now 27. Eventually that potential word disappears, right? But this is a guy that has done everything that he's needed to do to get to the level that he's at, right? Putting the time, the personal development, the effort, the ability to have empathy and care for others and want them to genuinely win. And in return, he's become someone that we all love, trust, and respect. And I'm blessed enough to be able to call him now a brother of mine because he is absolutely a stud. And I'm excited because he's still so young. It's crazy because I was nowhere as developed as he was at his age than I was at that age. And so it's gonna be crazy to see where he takes it. By the time he's 27, my age, it's gonna be absolutely insane. And so this is someone that has a lot of wisdom, a lot of understanding and knowledge of the industry and of the game, and can help you aspire to very great heights. And so if you haven't been taking notes on anything so far, I highly encourage you start taking them now because when he speaks, there's always things that are nuggets that are dropped. And you're going to want to hear it. And not only you're going to want to hear it, you're going to want to apply it as well. But with no more further ado, the brand new 50K, brand new six-figure club guy, my boy Tippa. How you doing, brother?
Feeling amazing, feeling blessed, feeling grateful. Thank you so much. How we doing, guys? Drop some ones in the chat if you guys took some good notes on Jay's part. Let me tell you guys something about this man, Jay, all right? He mentioned during his spiel, the mentors, or actually Josh did too, but the mentor appears when the person is ready, right? And all of us, we have different styles of learning, different types of mentors that we may prefer, and sometimes the mentor that we may picture in our head is completely different than the one that we actually need. So when I first got started in this industry about 4 or 5 years ago, right? I was mostly talking to Josh. That's actually how I got started. He quick added me on Snapchat, FaceTimed him after that. And I was like, okay, I know that you guys are trading. Tell me what's going on. Boom, we locked in, right? So 4 years later, still going strong. But Jay kind of came a little bit later. I think he was still over at NDSU, around the time that I got started. But I was 18, not really taking the business too seriously. And Jay really appeared as a mentor for me when it was really time for me to take things to that next level, to make that shift into becoming a professional. And one of his styles is, he says that he's a professional problem solver, and that's exactly what he is. He's very solution oriented. But keep in mind, guys, there's no reason to have a solution if the solution isn't going to be completely and truthfully honest, right? And so he is someone that I have held in a way where I know he's going to hold me accountable. He's going to keep it real with me, right? If I'm not doing the things that I should be doing, he's going to tell me exactly what I'm not doing right, but he's going to tell me why, and he's also going to let me fail, right? But at least, we have that open line of communication. He's someone who I'm very grateful for because even if you don't accomplish certain tasks, as long as he sees that you put in the effort, right? If you don't accomplish certain challenges, as long as he sees that you put in the effort for real, he is more than willing to keep continuing that progression, keep continuing that progress. Okay. So those are some of the foundational philosophies he was talking about, guys. Another one was environment. And a big takeaway from that, guys, is, he's talking about some foundational philosophies of success in general. When you look at the average of, the five people that you're around, that's not just with business, that's also with health, right? That's also with, how you take care of your money, how you treat your family, how you treat your friends, right? What you go and do for activities, all of those kinds of things correlate, right? It's all transferable. So when you take a really deeper dive into who you're looking at, guys, I've had to do it several times throughout my career because, when you want to reach certain levels, guys, it takes a certain level of responsibility. It takes a certain, level of skill sets, certain types of skills, and certain time commitments and certain activities where some people cannot be, in priority. That's just law. So he was talking a lot about those philosophies. Now, I want to give you guys a roadmap on how to go and be completely independent in this business. But I want to really focus in on a basic thing where people can get to the 1K and the 5K rank without having to stress too much about the concrete skills. All right, so I want to create a little game for you guys in your head. Now, when we look at the outline on how to go build this business, okay, about 2, 3 years ago, guys, I really started taking things serious. First and foremost, you need to understand what it means to be a professional in this. Before, one of my fatal flaws in this industry was that I did not have enough posture, right? I didn't understand how to leverage the opportunity that I had, and I didn't understand that I don't need anybody to join this business. I'm just looking for the people that are willing and that want to go hit this. Okay. Those are the ones you want to partner up with. All right. So we're just looking, we're sorting, right? And then another thing, guys, is I knew that I couldn't do this alone and I needed to level up my skills to go and attract those around me that I can really go run this with. All right, so I focused on my personal development. I learned what it meant to be a professional, and I learned the ways, the techniques, and where you can go and build more bridges, even if those people don't join your business right away, instead of burning bridges and getting emotional with the outcome of what goes on with your conversations. All right, so to give you a quick outline, okay, and my goal for you guys is to become completely independent in this business. Would you guys say that's a good goal? Drop a one in the chat if you think that's a great goal. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to be working with each other, guys. All that means is that I or the person that got you started, or Jay or Josh or anybody else on this call, can depend on you to go and make sure that when someone gets started in this space, or when you go and talk to someone, right, you're going to talk about the business in the correct way. You're going to be truthful. You're going to be transparent. You're going to be empathetic. You're going to be kind and compassionate. And when they get into the business, we can rely on you to make sure that they get set up properly so they have the best chances of success, right? We have a lot of those systems built. Okay, but let me explain to you guys the four-step system that you need to, eventually master in order to become completely independent. All right. Now, please take notes on this part because in those four steps, right, the first two steps, that's going to be talking about conversion. All right. Conversion is how good are you at getting from one point, right? One stage of the conversation or wherever you're at with the prospect to the next stage. All right. The amount of people you talk to versus the amount of people that are interested, the amount of people that are interested versus the amount of people that see the information, the amount of people that see the information versus the amount of people that get started, right? And then from there, guys, from there, the next half, the next two steps is talking about retention. Okay. Now, we are not in a sales industry. Okay. Sales is a pretty important skill to become masterful in network marketing, right? But once that person comes in, if you just focus on the sale and you're only good at the sale, but you're not good at the next two steps, then your retention, the people that stay in your organization, is going to be very, very lackluster. And you're not going to be paid a lot of money in this industry, guys, because we want to get that residual income. We want to make sure that people have the best chances of success and they go and have success. All right. Word of mouth business. Okay. So the first two steps, guys. Number one is inviting. Okay. Is presentation. All right. There's multiple ways that you can present the opportunity, guys. And keep in mind, typically it's going to take a few times, a few to several times for them to get exposed to a certain aspect or the full opportunity for them to really conceptualize and be ready to get started. All right. So you got to give yourself some more time, even with that concept. Okay. Now, the presentation can come in the recorded presentation video, the nightly, sometimes two a day presentation calls that we have, the overviews, right? You can throw them in a group chat with your mentor that knows how to give the presentation in a professional manner. And guys, this is so important that they see the presentation in a professional setting because keep in mind, you guys have an obligation. We have an obligation to make sure that we educate and we consult. Okay. If we, because we're unskilled, have conversations and we try to give too much information in the improper manner, we may say something to that prospect, to that person, and maybe it's even false, right? Altogether. Or maybe it's not in the correct order for them to understand the value and for them to really be able to conceptualize certain topics because a lot of people don't understand trading, There's a lot of miscommunication that can happen. And so if you say something that, kind of throws them off a little bit, guys, and they don't want to do this, guys, then it is your problem. It is your fault, right? You are doing them a disservice. So it's very, very important to be skilled in this aspect. Doesn't matter if you don't have results, right? The person next to you probably does. Doesn't matter if you don't have results. The person on this call probably does, right? Doesn't matter if you have results. The person and the community has results that you can leverage. All right. So keep in mind that the people that get paid the most in business in general is how good are you at utilizing leverage? We have testimonials chats. We have testimonial videos, right? We have results, the percentages. Okay. And keep in mind, we have people that have real results that you can get them connected to in our community specifically. All right. You can get them connected with me. I know Josh and Jay, you guys can get them connected. And we have many, many leaders that you can get connected with too. All right. So now we talked about the conversion. All right. I, the invite, T, presenting. Now E, enrolling. Now this is once they say, yes, I'm ready to get started. Welcome to the team, right? Welcome to the team. Now go ahead and do whatever you got to do. No, that's not how we're going to do things. So if you truly care about people having the best chances of success, okay, then we need to be able to set them up properly. Otherwise, they're just going to slip through the cracks and you're probably not going to be able to get them reactivated. It's going to be pretty difficult. So you basically only have one shot, with each person. Once they get in, right, you need to make sure that they get their tools set up, right? You need to make sure that you give them proper expectations on their timeline of success. The timeline of success, guys, you may be wondering as well. Maybe you're like, man, I'm not getting the results that I want to at this certain point in time. Now, zoom out. Okay, take a deep breath and zoom out. All right. The foundational philosophies of your timeline of success, guys, is going to be determined by, all right, well, think about the skills that I need to get good at in this industry. Okay. When you are at a millionaire level skill set, guys, your income level is going to be right around that point. Okay. If not now, it's coming up. All right. And I've noticed this in my own business as well, in my own trajectory. So the skill set of it, the personal development, but most importantly, how you apply and how many times you apply the knowledge you're gaining. All right. Jay Patnode says this all the time. All right. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. So I've taken this concept and I've applied it every single time I'm learning something. I watch a YouTube video, I go apply it. I'm on these calls, I take notes and I go apply it. Right? We talk about so many different things, and so when you're hopping on these calls, guys, you may hear some things that, are repeated, but there's a whole law where, you should be hearing things like about 9 times before you really sticks in your head. You can expedite that process taking notes, showing up a few more times than other people. All right. But it takes a lot of times to hear the same thing, but not only to learn it, but also be able to teach it. Okay. So you keep showing up, right? You keep applying. And so this is what I was doing. I was going out, making sure that I was getting contacts every single time I go anywhere, before I go leave an establishment. I was doing laps to go see who I can go talk to. All right. And after you get them started, guys, you need to be able to make sure that they get set up properly so you can leverage these platforms and systems. Because think about it, if you go and get someone started, right, you're going to have a little bit of time where they're going to have to go through the academy, right? Go hop on the live sessions, you got everything set up for them and they can go take tap to trades. Now you can go focus on enrolling more people while they get to the next steps of building the organization, right? You run with the runners and you also have a little bit of time because you got good at leveraging our systems that we have. All right, now T, this is the fourth part. Okay, and it's kind of a little bit more than outlined, but I'm kind of incorporating a lot of the concepts that I want to talk about within it. But with the T, all right, this is training. This is where you really get that duplication because this business, if you guys didn't know, it's like a game of Simon Says. It's a huge game of Simon Says. Now, for me, for Josh, for Jay, we're like, okay, Simon Says, put your hand up. Now we want all you guys to put your hand up. All right. And I see you guys that didn't. So you guys lost. All right. So you want as many people playing this game and following along with you as possible. All right. Each step of the process. So you want to make things simple. You want to make things duplicatable. This is where you make the big, big bucks in network marketing. So you have to be able to train your person on how to invite, present, enroll, and then train their person. Okay. Once you get to that level, guys, this is when you can go and create leaders within your organization. And the more independent and reliable leaders that you have, the more blessings, the more money you'll make. And you'll really, really be able to start seeing that financial freedom, that time and location freedom come into play. You're coaching and facilitating at a much higher level. I know Josh and Jay, they're at that higher level, relative to me, guys. But they're still in the trenches because they want to go even higher, right? They're still doing the daily activities that people need to do. But keep in mind, okay, with the level of leadership that they have, their organization level is pretty sustainable where they're at. Okay, but they're not done yet. Job's not finished, right, Jay? Let's go. So that's a little bit about the outline of the four-step system, how to become independent, how to have your leaders become independent in this business. And now I want to really focus in on the conversational piece when it comes to what actually makes you money in this business. All right. Because all business is conversation. All right. All business is conversation. Now, how many people in here, you know, especially when they first got started. Maybe it's still now, right? Sometimes it happens to me too. You go and talk to someone and you do not know how to get them to see the presentation. You don't know where to go from there, right? They ask you a question or they hit you with something and you're just stuck and you don't get their contact, you don't know what to do. Drop a one in the chat if you've felt that and you've experienced that before. Yup, I know there's a lot of people. I know I've experienced it, right? So I want you guys to first understand that when you are talking, all right, if you really want to go and run this business up as much as possible, when you are talking or texting, you need to be doing the three P's, okay? Prospecting, presenting, or promoting. Prospecting, presenting, or promoting, okay? Now, I want to really zoom in on the prospecting portion of things because I want to make this as simple as possible for you guys. There's a lot of techniques that we can teach you. There's a lot of different sauce that we can provide for you guys, but the application of it, I want it to be as simple as possible and something that will increase your repetitions without giving you too much anxiety, without giving you too much pressure is, a little game that I came up with. All right. In my experience, you know, every single month, it comes towards the end of the month. We're like, oh man, I got to go hit it in, the next gear, right? I got to go hit the quotas. I got to go rank up, but in reality, you should just be doing certain activities throughout the entire year, day by day by day by day. And that activity, guys, is just talking to people. Okay. Don't worry about talking about the business. Don't worry about talking about trading. Don't worry about, oh, I need to go set up a meeting and stuff like that. That will come naturally. Okay. A lot of you guys need to understand where you're at in the communications process. Okay. And consider, like, all right, if you're in a soccer game, and you wait until the 90th minute, right? And now you're focused on scoring. 90th minute for those that don't play soccer, it's like the last minute, right? So now you're focused on scoring and you're down one. What is the defense going to do on the other team? They're just going to get compact and you're not going to be able to have a way in to go score, right? Instead, you should have been doing the preparation the entire match. You should have been scoring or looking for opportunities the entire match. Okay. So what I mean by that is this. Think about the pipeline that you have. Think about the amount of conversations you're having. Think about the amount of people you're talking to on a day-to-day basis. Okay? You have that number in your head? Now, how many people can you increase it to if you don't have to worry about talking about the business, pivoting, right? Worrying about, oh, I need to have trading skills involved in order for me to talk to someone about business or anything like that. Okay. All these limiting beliefs, guys, are keeping you from increasing your capacity because what did I say? Your conversion rate. All right. We don't need to be hitting one every two people. Okay. If you can go and just convert 3 out of 10 people, guys, in baseball, you're making millions and millions of dollars, right? 3 out of 10. So now think about it in this business. If you can just increase your skill set and increase the amount of conversations you're having and get your average to 3 out of 10 guys, you can become a multi-millionaire in network marketing. But you have to have that top number that you're funneling down, right? Be at its maximum if you want the most amount of success. Okay, so I want you guys to type and I want you to be honest and transparent. How many different people are you having conversations with on a day-to-day basis, right? How many different people are you having conversations with on a day-to-day basis? Tell me in the chat. Gotta scroll down. 5 to 10, 10, 15 plus, too many. 50. That's great. Okay. So Jada, 100, crazy, right? Now, if you're within that, if you're within 10, right? If you're within 10, I want you to be very introspective. All right. Think about where you're at right now in your business. Are you comfortable? Are you complacent? Right? Think about where do you want to go? All right. Is this truly what you want? because it's not about what kind of goals that we set for ourselves, guys. It's the standard we hold ourselves to. Okay. And when we're talking about, oh, business is conversation, well, maybe you need to have more conversation on a day-to-day basis. It's going to make you better faster. It's going to put in more people for you faster, right? And it's going to help you grow your organization, your community, everything, right? Grow your level of leadership, all right? Just from having more conversations. Don't stress yourself out. Don't let those limiting beliefs keep you from the very, very basic activity of developing relationships, sowing seeds. Because, guys, when you sow seeds, all right, and you're having these conversations, with seeds, you understand not all of them are going to make it through, right? Some of them you plant and it gets burnt by the sun, right? Some of them you plant and the thorns will get them, right? They'll choke out the seed. Some of them, a bird will come pick it up. Boom. Maybe a prospect you talk to, they're sounded so gung-ho on getting started, and then they ghost you and they don't talk to you, right? The bird's got him. Who cares? On to the next. Okay. And so when you're having these conversations, guys, and you're not focused too much, this is when you can go talk to someone like me, talk to the person that got you started. Okay, this is where the conversation is at. Where should I take it from here? Oh, great. We have an in-person event. I can invite this person too. I've been just talking to them about whatever it is, but at least they have that personable connection with you. They feel that is genuine. They know that you care about them, guys, because people buy people over products, services, opportunities, anything like that. All right. Does that all make sense? Drop a one in the chat. If that makes sense and you think that you can go and apply it right away after this call? All right, Kyle has asked a question. How do you bring the business up in conversation if it's someone you may not get the chance to have a second or third interaction with? All right, so Kyle, this is where the skill comes in. Okay, when you're going out to talk to this person, if you don't think that you can go talk to them again, you have to give them a reason to talk to you again, whether it's this opportunity in general, whether it's you drop some value on them, whether you just make them feel good and you compliment them, right? Whether you find a way to stay connected through a different type of activity, so don't stress yourself too much about actually talking about the opportunity, guys. There's techniques to go and do so. All right. But if you think that is going to be the last time that you're going to see them, just go get their contact. Don't overcomplicate it. All right. Just get their contact. Get their contact and then worry about funneling them in later. Okay. At least you're increasing your pipeline. All right. All business is conversation. Okay. Now, with that, I want you guys to understand the most important skill, one of them, right? One of the most important skills that you can have in this business or in general, right, is getting comfortable getting uncomfortable. All right. When you go and make a commitment on the amount of conversations, your standard on the amount of people you're talking to on a day-to-day basis, you're going to be creative on how you can go and do it. All right. Don't worry about the rest of the stuff. It'll come naturally. But at least you have a lot of conversations going. Now, when it comes to the end of the month push, right? You can go and call people and invite them to see an opportunity, and it's not weird and it's not out of nowhere. Okay. And they know you're coming from a good place. All right. Sowing and reaping, sowing and reaping. Oftentimes we can get caught being hunters, being snipers. I've gotten caught in that too. All right. But if we go and just increase our volume, our conversion rate is going to get better just naturally. All right. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if Jay, you got anything else to say, but I appreciate you guys. You want me to close it out, Jay? Yeah. All right. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys gain some values. Hey, drop some ones if you got some notes down. If maybe I helped you with something, understand concepts, increase, progress, because that's what these calls are all about. And with that, just know that I'm always available. This is my Instagram. This is my phone number. If you guys want, to hit me up, all right? I liked what Jay was saying. Go and earn my mentorship. I'm willing to work with the willing. Okay. But once you show me that you're not coachable and teachable and you're not at least putting in effort, all right, that's going to discourage me a lot in working with you going further. All right. So with that, I appreciate you guys. Take care. Stay safe out here, right? And go apply this knowledge that you just gained. Peace.